Hey guys, welcome to another fun and exciting iMike GT7 stream. Today we're looking at the Toyota GT Cup, which starts tomorrow, Sunday. Just going to give a run over. I've done a pretty good lap time, so I thought I'd just give it a run over just to explain a few things. For example, grid start and so forth. First of all, yes, I have a cold. That's why my voice sounds a bit different. I've had it for a day or two now, so I'm getting over it. The worst part of it is I sound a little bit like Big Bruce the Shark. That's the worst part. But hopefully I'll be back to normal soon. So the Toyota Cup tomorrow. Oh wow, it's only 6. I thought it was 12 laps. It's only 6 laps. Oh my god. Fuel and tyre wear is ×1. Comforts, medium tyres. And 2 cars to choose from, the Sprinter or the Corolla. I've gone with the Corolla, and yet the favourite seems to be the Sprinter. Now, I think that's just a bunch of sheep just following each other. They're basically both the same car. So I can't see there being any difference in them. They're pretty much the same car. I was doing a recording to show you guys about half an hour ago, and I accidentally hit screenshot not save recordings, so I've had to start again. And in that recording I was doing, I beat my fastest time. I was happy with that, and then I hit screenshot, so oops, I've got to record this again. Anyway, so there's a few things I want to go over. And with my car, I've put a livery on it. I've added a wing and the side, not grills, but the side bits on it, just to pretty it up. But I don't think that makes any difference. You don't need a wing. There's no brake balance, no downforce to come into play. So whether you do that stuff or not, doesn't make any difference. So why do? I guess it's if you're going to put it on YouTube and make a stream of it, you want your car to be presentable. So you can see there, I'm in second place there. A guy who I know, Fionn from Ireland, he's got a pretty good time, 16.684. So today I've just gone from 17.2 to 16.9. So I was happy with that. So we'll go over it again. My settings are, during the race I've got 0 traction control, but I do have active stability management, ASM, on, and canister assistance on strong. Without those I'm not as fast. I'm a little bit slightly all over the place. I can feel the wheels spinning a little bit more, so it probably slows the car down a touch, but I'm a bit more grounded. And I've said before, stability is what I'm all about. I don't want to be the fastest guy on the track wrapped into a rail on the side of the road. I'd rather be slower and on the track all the time. Anyway, first thing is it's a grid start race. So we're just going to go over the grid start. Quite often I find myself doing laps and laps and laps to get really fast, familiar with the car and track. And then race starts and I go, oh hell, it's a grid start, what do I do? So I played around with it a bit and had a look at different things. So option 1, second gear, no traction control, handbrake on, it's flat ground here so it should be right. Oh, and it bogs down, it's too slow, it's not good. Alright, so second gear and TC1 on, handbrake, and again it bogs down, so that tells me second gear is not good. Let's go first gear, handbrake on, lights go off, and we're off. Ugh. Now what I could do is, just to test, before the wheels begin to spin, I'll go to second. Okay, it's reasonable, but I do prefer first gear and traction control 1, second gear, and then you can turn it off. So it's either first and then quickly into second with no traction control, or traction control first for a little bit longer, get the revs up, and then second. So there's that. And then during the race, zero traction control is what I recommend. So let's start again. Let's go from the start. And I'll go over what speed you should be going to before you change gears. So second gear is about 188. I think about 190 it peaks. We get as smooth as we can here, so we can get back on the accelerator. Do not cross that line, or a penalty awaits. Third gear is about to 133. You want to rev this car out. It's going to help burn fuel as well, but it doesn't like short shifting. Fourth gear up to about 184, let's say. Past the 180, but not hitting 186. Down a second gear. So, oops, going a bit deep there. 188. 133. Back down a third of, yep, third. Don't cut that corner. Don't go over that line in a bad way. And then sitting around the 130s around here. And then it will drop down to about 120. When done properly, I'm not doing brilliantly at the moment because I'm chatting away. Down a third. Try and cut that apex if you can. Don't worry if you go out here. There's no penalty. I've done that intentionally to show you. There's no penalty there if you go wide. Changing at 133, which I didn't do just then. And then just after the shadow of this board. Down a third. Second, try and cut this apex, which I didn't do. It will improve. So lift a bit and then back on the accelerator up to 88. Lift a little bit around here. Try and get a bit of rotation. Try and cut that. Go over those curbs. Again, lifting here. The option is third or second around here. I prefer third in the long run. And then again, smooth around here. Getting your line right so you can get on the accelerator as quick as you can without going over that line. So we're going up to 133. The shadow of this sign, you want to be around the 150 mark. And then changing gear to fifth, about the, 83, 84. Down a second. That's a better one. Changing at about 188, 88, sorry. 133. I wouldn't go any higher, you risk peaking the engine. I've just gone up to fourth nice and early. Try not to go too far over that curb, or else a penalty awaits. If you go too hard here, you just begin to drift. Down a third. Trying to cut that corner, get a bit of rotation. Again, if you were to go out there, no worries. No big penalty. 133. So this ghost car is 1 second ahead of me when we start, just after that shadow. Third, second, get a nice healthy bite out of that curb. Ooh, a slight lift here, straighten up to 88, or around there as best you can. Try and get over that curb. and then it's a second or a third here. If things are going wrong and you're slowing right down, I probably would drop it a second. Again, trying to get this curb corner right so you get good acceleration. The thing I like about time trial is that that little timer in blue saying 2.318, giving you an idea of if you're improving or dropping off. And just experimenting, I just changed at 182 there. So 17.4. So I'm about half a second off my fastest time. So again, about, don't take too much of that corner. And I'm guessing if you get a penalty, let's say half a second, that's a lot of time down that straight you're going to be losing. So got to try and behave. I wouldn't bet if you did start at the back, as long as you keep it clean. Out of 14 cars, there'll be 4 cars with penalties, so paying half a second penalty just after this shadow. Second, third, and 6 laps is not much. So if you were to start at the back, 6 laps isn't a lot of time to try and get to the front. So I'm going to drop it a second there. So not the best now. So about over half an hour ago I was doing a stream like this. See, I've just changed gears early there and now my time is dropping because I'm talking. About half an hour ago I did a stream and I was chatting away and I got that 16.948 and I thought great, people are going to see it, and then I went to hit save video and I hit snapshot instead. I thought, my god, I just blew it. So just one more attempt. It's gone down a bit already, which isn't good. And I think I just peaked there, see it's now dropping. Just a little side note, guys, sometimes you see people racing and they'll have an accident and they're sliding, they're going off track and they're sliding, and then they get back on track and they're revving the engine, it just becomes horrible. They cannot stay on track and yet their tyres are not worn. I sometimes think that's when the tyre temperature comes into play, and if they're getting too hot, they're struggling for grip. So keep that in mind. It may not be active at the moment in this time trial, but in the race, if you're overworking your tyres, they could become quite hot, and you just have to be as smooth as you can to control that. So that wasn't real fast out of there. Alright, so I'm just going to explain. Oops, I peaked there. Just really not focusing. So this lap I'm going to explain the breakpoints, which generally, you know, you feel for yourself, but I'll just explain them. So down here there's a little kink in that white line, and then the curb starting about halfway between them. So there's, oops, I didn't change gear. About halfway between those two is my first brake point. Oops, I'm in first now. My next brake point down here is like a black mark along that white line. So the white line, see this black mark here? Bang, that's pretty much where I start braking. I've got my red braking zones up, but you can see I'm not braking when they start. But they're just a comfort blanket for me. This corner here is a bit of a guessing game for me. I just sort of, you know, gut feeling at the peak of this hill, begin to gear down. The next braking I've mentioned before, this sign has a shadow just after it. Now, third, second, I'm trying to take a nice bite out of that. Slight lift here, get a bit of rotation, a little bit of rotation, not too much, or else you'll find your car will be turning. Another lift, trying to get onto that curb. And then this is like one big smooth corner. One big smooth. Not turn straight, nice and smooth. You can go out here, no penalty. And again, nice and smooth. Trying to land it about here. Don't go over that line. So sorry I didn't show a 2 minute 16.9, sorry, but that's generally the basics of it. So one more lap and then I'm done. Let's see what I can do. I think I stuffed it there. So an improvement, only what, 0.3 off my old. So, and that's it. So again, traction control 1, first gear. Second gear, third gear, traction control off. And then hitting your brake points and getting those revs right when you're changing gears. Right, hopefully you've enjoyed that, guys, and you learnt something and you've benefited from that. If you've applied some of what I've used and you've made an improvement on your time, if you wouldn't mind, put in a comment, let me know how you went. It's all about helping other people. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for the Toyota Cup on track, and all the best, guys. Until next time, bye for now.